Welcome to New Activations with Raymond. I received messages today talk about what I don't want to share. And I hear others talk about what's happening with them. We all go through things in life. Whether you had a good upbringing or not, whether you had a family or not, whether you were born into a family that wanted you or not. If you were lucky enough to be born into a family that really cared about you and your well-being, and you lived under the same roof, that's great. If you were well provided for, congratulations. You had a great life. But not everybody had that. And then there were some that were born into families that hated them and only had them because they were looking to get out of a situation with their own family and looking for a way out to receive money by having a baby. And then, all along taking money from their kids and saying that they owe it to them for being born. And then bad-mouthing them the whole way and not even being a competent parent where you're living under the same roof. If you were a kid and you had to go look for a place to live while you're still in school because your parents were incompetent because they're too busy, with who they were sleeping with. How far could you have gone? But you're probably better off in another home than with an incompetent parent anyway. So it worked out for the best. I'm just giving scenarios because, you don't know who's out there, how they're living their life, if they're doing it with a good family or not. If they're not, then, hopefully this could really help them find a better way. And then there are some that are orphans. And who helps those kids? And what about those kids who were in families where when they got into a situation and when they needed help, their families turned on them? And then they had nowhere to go because they, were bribed in some way or sold their soul to the dark side. And then what happens with them? They have nowhere to turn. A family is supposed to be there for you no matter what. And if they're not, it's not a family. But I think about that. Who takes care of the orphans? How many people around the world give to orphanages or give to kids that they see that have nobody, that could be homeless or on the street? How many people think about them? I've never heard of anybody that does that. You don't hear about things like that. Who gives to the orphanages, not just in a particular country, in a particular area, but everywhere. Like, I never hear about that in the United States. And then you have kids that grow up with health issues. And those health issues come from lots of things. Many reasons. And more times than not, it's the parents that really didn't want the child. And then when they do have them, they don't know how to talk to them or treat them. They don't know how to be a family or a friend. And even if you're good to them, and you've always been there for them, and they still don't appreciate you. Even if they did take all your money and then threw you out with nothing, and then badmouth you to their friends on top of it, well, then what kind of family is that? Or if they go to your bank after they get all the alimony to child support, and they say you owe it to them for being born. Is that a family? No, it's not a family. But yet you think it's family. Because when they need something or when they need money, and then they come to you when you say, you're doing so well with money, you're doing well with credit, and then all of a sudden they have a situation and they want you to bail them out. And they want to have a child at your expense while they're bad-mouthing you, taking all your money and maxing out your credit cards. And you don't even get to meet their kids. You don't know what's out there. Or you could have a father that's sick, that has diabetes, can't see too well, paralyzed fingers, doesn't walk too well, and he marries a really bad woman after finding out who she really is, and then divorces her, and then remarries her again. And what does she do? She puts an intercom on the door so that when you come to the house, she doesn't even answer it, because now she's trapped him, because she's only after his pension and his retirement. She's after all of his money and doesn't really care what happens to him. And then he falls and he's in a wheelchair and can't go to the bathroom by himself because he married a really bad woman. And she's got really bad kids and married to really bad people. To treat somebody like that when they need it the most and they don't even open the door to you. I'm just giving you situations so that you can look at your life and say, ooh, they had it worse than I did and I can do better. Or they had it, or you have it worse. And they can do it, you can do it. No matter what situation you're in, even if you have no money, you can still pick up and leave. It won't be easy because that sucks, I know. But it's better than living a life of misery around people you can't trust. Or if you're living with people, then they're stealing from you and they're going through your things and they're breaking it. That's not great either. If you find a great friend in this world, then consider yourself lucky. The true friends are there for you when you're down and out, not just for the good times. And you can attract a certain type of person if you, if you're always on top of how you take care of yourself and you look good and you're all about the outside, but you're empty on the inside. And you attract a certain type of person that you settled for. If you didn't do your spiritual work, from what I know now, I don't even know if I should be saying this because I'm listening to what's happening as I'm speaking. I really don't know how people can even end up in relationships without having done any spiritual work whatsoever. Because you won't see things the same way as when you did before you did your spiritual work. Your feelings never lie to you about people you're around. If you're getting that gut feeling that this isn't right, this isn't okay, never ignore your feelings. It's really important to pay attention to that and follow your heart. Follow your intuition. Because the mind isn't always accurate. In fact, rarely is it accurate. Because with the busy mind, you're blocking what you're supposed to receive. you're ready to make spirituality a priority in your life, and you're ready to travel the road less traveled, the path unknown, then get the book The True You by Erica Rock. Do the sessions. Get the forgiveness prayers by Howard Wills. And stay on top of it. Because if you're spiritually dead and you have money, you still don't have everything. You're not free. I don't care how rich you are. That's a fact. If you truly love yourself and you have the courage and the strength and the willpower then you'll take seriously what I just said. Because I'm telling you this from someone who knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about spirituality, I knew nothing about energy, I knew nothing about vibration, I knew nothing about frequency. And this chose me, it found me, I didn't choose it. And even if no one you know has done it or is doing it, then be the first to show them how it's done. Be the first to do something someone in your family hasn't done. And see what happens. I don't know how anyone on the face of this earth doesn't make spirituality a priority. I'm not talking about religion. Religion is entirely different. This is spirituality. Religion might teach you how to conduct yourself in the world, and it will go by Bible verses or whatever and show you things. I don't know really much about the Quran. I don't know much about the Bhagavad Gita. I really don't. I know the names of it, but I've never had my hands on a book to look through it. But if you want to truly be free, then I wouldn't hesitate, because this is a message from your higher self, who's showing you the way. This is a message from the Ascended Masters showing you the way. This is a message from the Galactic High Council showing you the way. This is a message from the Archangelics showing you the way. And I could go on, but I think I'll just end it there. Take your life seriously. and make spirituality a priority. You won't regret it. By doing what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And if you just set your beliefs aside and start over like a newborn baby, like you know absolutely nothing, you'll be thanking yourself you did so. Let go of all the beliefs of whatever country you were brought up in, whatever they told you how to believe, how to think, how to carry yourself. Just drop all that nonsense. It's beliefs that no longer serve you, and you need to get rid of your burdens. Because it is a burden. And you'll figure that out once you've committed yourself to spirituality, once you've committed yourself to self-love, once you've committed yourself and you've listened to the messages of your higher self and you've used your free will to make the conscious decision to make spirituality a priority. And it's not predictable either. It's not a predictable path. Like you can go to church every Sunday and you can almost tell what's going to happen every week. And so what does that do? So you go to church one day a week, and then how are you the rest of the week? How are you treating others the rest of the week? How are you thinking about others the rest of the week? How are you treating yourself? How do you talk to yourself? What kind of life are you really living? Is it really all about the money? And really, how much do you know yourself? Because one of the things in self-realization is to know thyself. And if you don't know what that means, then all the more reason to get the book The True You by Erica Rock and do the sessions. All the more reason to get the Forgiveness Prayers by Howard Wills. If you believe in yourself and you truly love yourself, you'll take this seriously and jump on it immediately. And never hesitate. Because if I received a message like this, I would have been all over it. I don't waste any time. And the way I do things is, once I hear a message, I throw myself into it. And I don't quit. I don't give up, I don't cave, and I'm certainly not tempted. And I pass every single test. I stay on top of what I say. I keep my word. I keep my promises. So, you want to think, how trustworthy are you? Do you keep your promises? Do you keep your word? How honest are you? How truthful are you? Are you the change you want to see in the world? And what do you do when you see something happening to another that isn't right? What do you do if you see that others are trying to slander and ruin the reputation of innocent people? Can you be bribed to do that too, or do you want no part of corruption? These are just things to think about and what to ask yourself. And what do you do alone behind closed doors? Who are you? If you were with other people in the same house, do you go through their things and take things from them, or can they trust you with their things? Like some people come out right out and say they steal and they lie, and they're proud of that. I don't see that's anything to be proud of or respected. If everybody held themselves to a higher standard and way of being, this world would be different. If everybody did spirituality, this world would be different. If everybody really cared about each other, this world would be different. Because you know that we're all connected. And for someone to look down on somebody else and for whatever reason, if those people that were looking down on the person that they're looking down on, if that was them and they were in those shoes, they wouldn't, how would they feel if that was done to them? And I also think sarcasm is just not to be respected. To take a cheap shot or a cheap stab at somebody when they're already down is not to be respected. Narcissism and gaslighting is not to be respected. Not to be there for family when they need it the most is not to be respected. That's not family. If you're only after the money, then what are you? I mean, it's great to have money, no doubt, but if you didn't do your spiritual work, you still don't have everything, and you never will. And you can't do it when you're dead. You have a body now, you're alive. You can't take money with you when you die. I've said this already. So look into that book that I told you about, The True You by Erica Rock. Do those sessions and get that information. The book of The Forgiveness Prayers by Howard Wills. Take your life seriously. Take spirituality seriously. And you won't regret it. And someday you'll thank me for it. If you stay on top of it and you don't quit and you don't cave and you don't give in and you don't give up and you're not tempted. If you have any questions or comments, put in the description box below or email me at reinadhabsburg@gmail.com. Please like, share, subscribe, because the more this gets out, better. And I'll see you next time.